Hello everyone, this is Adrian Cobalt Andrich, presenting to you Super Metroid, the 1994 Super Nintendo entry in the Metroid series. This is the third game in the franchise, and surely one of the most widely acclaimed. So, I had said that I wouldn't be using my keyboard, that I wouldn't be able to in my previous playthrough of Metroid 2, Return of Samus, and the reason being, the Super Nintendo controller is quite a bit more complex than the Game Boy controls were. But we're going to start right now.
The last Metroid is in captivity. The galaxy is at peace.
So just take a load off right now and we'll watch this opening cinematic. Alright, so as you can see, the story of Super Metroid picks up pretty much right where Metroid 2 leaves off. Samus has delivered the Metroid infant to this space colony here at Cerris. Now, we can see Super Metroid received a pretty drastic graphical overhaul, with a full color array and pretty detailed animations. This is really an impressive title, especially for the Super Nintendo. So we found the infant Metroid, but the situation is not all that it appears to be. We're reunited with our old friend Ridley. Alright, so we have a minute to escape the self-destructing colony. Ridley has successfully made off with the Metroid larva. It's up to us to go after him and return the Metroid to the Galactic Federation. You notice Samus seems to be recoiling as the steam jets hit her. They actually don't cause any damage, which is fortunate because Ridley doesn't leave until he deals a good amount of damage to you or you deal a good amount of damage to him. Fortunately, he did a little better than I did. And we will be returning to planet Zebes, the locale in which we found ourselves in the first Metroid game. So right away you'll notice also that this game is far more cinematic in its presentation than were Metroid and Metroid 2. Samus retains her spaceship from the previous game. And I kind of want to take a little bit of time to show you some of the improvements or changes they've made. As you can see, Samus still walks and jumps and fires. She can now aim in 8 directions since she's able to aim at diagonal orientations. She now possesses an ability to sprint, although that would only ever show up in this game. The sprinting is done by holding down the assigned button, much like in the Mario games. If we were to pause, I'm not going to do it now, but if we were to pause, we would have a very detailed map layout of everything we've explored so far on Zebes. Right now you may notice we've actually found our ways into the remains of old Turian from the original game, which is where we battled Mother Brain and evacuated the planet. Like the original Metroid, the areas are connected via a series of elevators. Now, if you remember, this is the starting position for the original Metroid, and here, as before, is the morph ball, or the morphing ball. But like the temple in Indiana Jones, seems a security system has been rigged to activate as soon as someone takes the morph ball from its pedestal. We can actually aim downwards as we could in Metroid 2. That helps us get through some places that would originally have only been accessible using the morph ball bombs. Okay, we've gotten our first missile expansion. The missiles are added to our kind of auxiliary screen up on the top portion. Pink doors are unlockable through use of missiles. A pink door takes 5 normal missiles. And there's another security camera or node. Ultimately, the objective in this game is to find the infant Metroid, which is kind of what I said earlier when we were on the space station. Ridley is back, as will be Kraid and Mother Brain and the Space Pirates. So we'll revisit some of the ground we already covered in the original Metroid, just as we have now. These are the Zebesian space pirates. The armed infantry forces of the Space Pirate Legion, making their first real appearance in this game. Now, like at the end of the original Metroid, we need to climb this shaft. Fortunately, we're not in danger of having the planet explode on us right now. So as with Metroid 2, I'd like to make 20-minute segments. This game is longer than both Metroid and Metroid 2. And so that may mean that at times we may want to make longer videos. This is a map station. By touching it, we will download the basic map information. The region we're in right now is called Criteria. Criteria pretty much encapsulates most of the above-ground regions. Don't those things on the background look like Yu-Gi-Oh cards? I think so. Now, if I'm not mistaken, I need a Morph Ball Bomb to get through here. Yeah, and I don't have those quite yet. I'm about to get them, however. So I hope you've all been doing well. I'm doing great. Just enjoying the days. Trying to take it easy. We should all take it easy. That's a very mellow, Jack Johnson sort of thing to say, but I mean it. Oops. I'll save you the explanations of who the Chozo are and what Samus's backstory is. I've mentioned those in my previous soft-spoken playthroughs, but I will say this enemy is called the Torizo. And the Torizo is almost like a sentinel left behind by the Chozo in order to test the worthiness of those who have taken their treasures and weapons. You only ever run into 2 of them, I think, in this game, although one of them is fairly advanced. You won't find him until later in the game. Quite a bit later, actually, not till you're almost at the end. But we have our Morph Ball Bombs, so that makes us happy. I'm kind of thinking I might make this first video half an hour long, just for the sake of introducing the game. There was a prologue, as we saw, and that took up a little bit of time. Like Metroid 2, this game uses save stations. And I'll use them, but I'll also be freezing my game state as I'm using an emulator. I do own this game on the Wii and the Wii U virtual consoles. You can find it there for $8, which is a very, very good price for this game. This game cartridge, at the time it came out, was, I believe, the largest cartridge. And by that I mean the chip inside the cartridge was the largest and most advanced processor chip, or memory chip, or whatever you would call it, at the time for any Super Nintendo game. This game, I believe, came out after the original Star Fox. I think that game came out in 1993, and this is 1994. And Star Fox, and also the game Pilot Wings, were three-dimensional, and those games were both smaller than Super Metroid, which was 2D. So that says a lot, I think, about the complexity and depth of Super Metroid and the scale at which it is presented is really immense. Super Metroid tends to be the Metroid game to which all other Metroid games are compared. I also want to say, I want to provide as enjoyable an experience here for all of you, both by, creating a sort of mellow setting, but also I want you to be able to see all that this game has to offer. That being said, I want to try to finish this game sort of quickly. Like the first two games, you can get a better ending depending on how fast you complete the game. And I've actually never gotten the best ending this game has to offer, so I'm going to try to go for that this time. Now this area strongly resembles Kraid's hideout from the original game. You can see it has a few of the same enemies. I am more familiar with this game than I am with Metroid 2, and even the original Metroid. It helps to have such a handy map system, although that does take away some of the challenge. I hope the music isn't too loud. I will examine this video as soon as I'm done recording it, and just based on the kind of feedback I'm getting on my microphone here, it looks like my voice is being pretty well detected, but I will certainly make sure that it sounds right. skip saving for now, in the interest of time. Oh, these are new enemies. They're kind of like fireflies, but if you destroy any, then the room will actually become darker, and if you destroy enough of them, the room becomes pitch black. There you can see kind of how that works. Fortunately, you can still see the few of the important details. Super Metroid also tends to get a lot more clever with its the way it hides items and upgrades. This game also adds a feature wherein by accessing Samus's inventory in the start menu, you can actually switch off some upgrades. Not all of them, but most of them actually. And by doing that, you can sort of set a challenge for yourself, utilizing as few of the upgrades you've obtained as possible. You can turn off your suits and your beam upgrades. I'm not going to do that because I don't think I'm quite good enough, and I don't think you're watching this to see how good I am at Metroid, or maybe you are. I can't say, I don't really know you. Okay, again, I'm going to forego saving for now. We're at about 24 minutes. Whoops. And there is a little mini-boss that's coming up kind of soon. So I'm hoping I can defeat him, and then that might be a good place for us to stop this first video. Well, I have to destroy this key hunter first. Alright, here he is. This guy is called the Spore Spawn. He is a large plant creature. Basically, he kind of bobs around, and every now and then he'll open up and expose a weakness. I'm not actually in a good position right now. I will head over here. And as we do damage to him, he'll start to turn darker. Okay, he looks like he's moving maybe a teeny bit faster. The little spores that are drifting down can be shot for health and ammo. Okay, now he's sped up quite a bit. So, a few weeks ago I actually got to see the movie Guardians of the Galaxy, which, as you may or may not know, is the latest movie in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And I really enjoyed it. You know, I had high hopes for it, and they did not go disappointed, so I was happy. I was introduced to the actress, and I may be pronouncing her name incorrectly, but Karen Gillan, or Gillan. It looks like Jillian, but it doesn't have a second eye. She plays the character Nebula in that movie, and I had never seen her in anything before. I guess she's in Doctor Who, but I don't really watch Doctor Who, so I wasn't familiar with her. And she's actually going to be in this new TV show called Selfie, I think, which I saw the commercials for it, and I thought it looked kind of lame. And I thought that was too bad because she did a good job in Guardians of the Galaxy. But I actually looked it up not that long ago, and I found out it's actually a kind of modern take on the story of My Fair Lady, which is something you may have learned about in English class. But it has the John Cho. He played Sulu in the new Star Trek movies. And I think he's kind of a good actor, so I don't know, maybe I'll give that show a shot. Who knows? Hopefully it's good. Okay, we're about to switch areas, I believe. So let's... Oh, these gates can be shot open. Sometimes you'll be on the other side of them. Once we get the wave beam, we can actually shoot right through them. So they're not going to be a problem forever. There are certain ones, though, that can only be hit by missiles. So our missiles will never be able to penetrate walls. So okay, so we're in Brinstar still, but we're in another section. Hoping there's a save station down here. Oops. There's an energy recharge. Another thing this game introduces is wall jumping, which is exactly what it sounds like. Okay, I'm going to collect this upgrade in here, the Spazer, and then I'm going to freeze, and we will continue this next time. Be fighting our first boss fairly soon, so hope to see you all then. Bye-bye.